When I first started shooting film photography, I loved to just walk around taking street photos and sort of wait for something to happen. Sometimes it did, and sometimes it just didn't. Most of the time, after waiting a few days to get my photos back, I would sort of realise that most of my shots are just boring. There was just something missing, and I didn't really know what. Luckily, over time, I've learned what it is that makes a picture really interesting, and I've used that over and over again to get better and better shots. It turns out my situation is the same as a lot of other people's. So if a lot of people's photos are boring, then how do we fix this? Well, after years of hard work, I've put together 3 rules that will completely transform your pictures from boring old generic shots to super interesting pictures. When you watch a movie, the shots change all the time. Different focal lengths, close-ups, mediums and wides. All of these changes help to tell a story and keep the viewer interested. How often do you just see a wide shot of a landmark or something without it driving the narrative? Usually there'll be shots that involve the character or another element that directly or indirectly drive the narrative. What does making movies have to do with photography? Well, a hell of a lot. Cinematography and photography are constantly stealing things from one another, and they're so intertwined that, yeah, quite a lot. It's when we start to look at photography more as telling a story that we start to realise what's missing from an image. For instance, if you take a look at this picture, without the cyclist, it's just a picture of a building. It's still kind of a nice picture, but there's no narrative, and for me, there's no focal point either. Your pictures need interesting elements, and I say elements because it could be a person or a car or an animal, a flock of birds, or it could even be something more conceptual. Once you see these things added into your compositions, you'll start to realise how much more interesting and different these pictures become. These things start to create more well-balanced pictures that actually have a bit of a narrative, rather than the same old boring shots. But even if you do this, it won't matter unless you mix it with this next thing. Imagine you're having a dream, and everything is in 2D. There's a little flat house and a little flat man, and you wave to him with your little flat hands. And well, it's boring. You wake up and you think how much that dream really sucked. You completely forget about it, and then you go back to sleep. The next dream you have, you're thrown into a 3D world. It's immersive, it's real, you can't believe how crazy everything looks. The dream kicks ass. You wake up and you're like, whoa, that was sick. And you remember it all day. When you take a picture, do you want it to feel 2D or 3D? Most of the time, the answer is 3D. 2D images, just like that dream, are boring and not immersive, and they don't have any depth. Generally speaking, you need depth in an image. You don't want it to be flat. You want it to feel immersive. If you're not sure what depth looks like or what I mean by that, take a look at this picture. This is a flat image. It doesn't feel like there's any 3-dimensional aspect to it. And amongst other reasons, that's what makes it boring. On the other hand, this picture has depth. Even without the shallow depth of field, this picture would still have depth because it has layers of light. And these layers of light help to produce a more 3D feeling. Above all, depth is one of the most important aspects to add to an image. And as I've shown already, the most impactful way of creating depth is through layers of light, not through shallow depth of field. You can do this by shooting from someone's shadow side or by looking for layers of light in natural compositions. Although I've only gone through creating depth very quickly, it can definitely take quite a while to actually learn. Now these are really important steps, but it isn't until you mix it together with the last phase that it actually starts to come together. How often do you find yourself taking photos in a casual way? Perhaps you've gone on holiday with your family or something and you've got your camera with you and you're just taking snaps as and when. Maybe you take a few pictures here and there, but eventually when you get back and take a look at them, you realize they're just boring and generic. I think we all know this feeling, but there's definitely something that we can do about it. If you were a painter, would you just sit down to paint for 2 minutes and then get up and do something else and then sit down again and hope that you'd created a masterpiece by the end of it? Recently, when I realized how much my photos would suck when I go traveling, I decided I needed to take a different approach. I started to specifically put time aside to shoot by myself in the early mornings. This gave me time to be creative on my own and also enter a nice state of flow. And after just an hour or so of shooting, some of those shots are some of my favourite from the whole holiday. This is why it's so important for you to put time aside to shoot with intention rather than just shooting passively. You need to think about what you're doing, think about different angles and different compositions. Maybe give yourself time to wait for a subject to come into a composition or something like that. This way of shooting, coupled with the previous 2 tips, can completely transform your shots so easily. But this alone won't do much if your shots aren't sharp and detailed. So I spent some time figuring out how to get the sharpest shots possible and put it together in this video.